susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Ghost Club SG Expedition 8 Sembawang Galore. Expedition 8 take us to the northland of Singapore to the area of Sembawang. Sembawang is actually a place riddled with history and flavor, as the earliest record of Sembawang can be found in a map by Franklin and Jackson named Plan of Singapore, dating back to 1830. The stretch of Sembawang Road of today is said to be named after the Sembawang tree. Calle Ferrugini Sembawang Road was officially constructed in 1930 as a transport means from the naval bases at Sembawang Shipyard. From then on, several prominent wealthy businessmen started to take over the land around the Sembawang Road, including Seya Yu Chin, a prominent Gambier who was dubbed the King of Gambier, and Lim Ni Son, an illustrious and wealthy rubber and pineapple planter, who subsequently built a row of shop houses along Sembawang Road and has his Nison rubber estate in the area. Sembawang is also home to many interesting houses and architecture, including the Biolio House, believed to be built in 1910 and owned by prominent businessman J.B. David of the mining business. Today, it is a nice rustic restaurant serving Asian and Western fare food. Just before the Japanese occupation of Singapore, the naval and army bases near Sembawang, including the Sembawang Jetty, were torched and purposely damaged by the British forces so for the Japanese were not able to make use of the facilities. However, the Japanese still made use of the premises when they took over control of Singapore. Sembawang Park is also the site of mass execution during the Japanese occupation, and many horror stories of death and pain still linger around the area. Sembawang Park is also home to Pontianacs, according to sources and everyday people who have encountered many experiences there. Praying and rituals at Sembawang Park 1960s. Sembawang Road was also known for one of the worst fires in Singapore history back in 1953, when a row of shop houses caught fire and made 500 people homeless and damage up to $300,000 were recorded. Back then, $300,000 was worth a lot. Sembawang is also known to the House of New Zealand troops who stayed in the colonial and bungalow houses up till the late 1980s. Colonial houses along St. Helena Road, one of the many rustic houses. Well, with the flavors as well as history of Sembawang, Expedition 8 has to definitely start with some good food for the team. Other than its yummy range nachos, they also serve their killer spicy wings. We ordered burgers to go along with, and it was indeed a meal fit for a long night out for Ghost Club. Halfway through our dinner, it started to pour. Thunder and lightning flash. Is this a little omen for us to come? Could it be a little sign to warn us against conducting our investigation? After dinner at about 8 plus, the rain subsided. We got into our vehicle and wanted to explore Wak Hassan Drive, a little quiet one-way road just around where Bokaro is. Wak Hassan is actually one of the Singapore's oldest and most resilient kampung. It was still existing until the late 1980s at this site. However, just as we could start the car, it started to rain again. It forces us to have to do the investigation in the car.
Yeah, that's the sign. Bottle Tree Village. It's really dark here. Look at the trees in front. We have the lightning in the background. Oh, we have an oncoming car. Wow, go. What a good number. Can I use to lead into something else? Yes. Could be, yeah. Right. There's building further up. Yeah. 那个是 Bottle Tree. What is the Bottle Tree Village? Is there anything there? It is a tree that's not like a bottle. Then there's buildings. Yeah, yeah, like 喝酒的那种. A bit like a country club. Oh, what's that? Power station 在这边. 后面有车，走快一点. Okay. Oh, it's a water catchment area. Oh no, it's raining again. 这样就是 Bottle Tree Village. Can. 没有东西。多少 Bottle Tree 啊？放下。
Our drive-through investigation yielded nothing, and we decided to head on to check out the haunted playground near the spring sidewalk. At this location, Agent Max felt a sense of dark heaviness when he was walking past this site. One night after work, he mentioned how the dogs were barking and howling as he made his way past this park in the wee hours of the morning. He didn't like it at all. Time is about 10 plus, still pretty early, but already the park looked dark. Overall, the playground was indeed very dark and quiet. It could be a prime spot for couples to hanky-panky here. However, the old and rundown state of the playground seems to just suggest that this playground is not really maintained, and you wonder why. The algae-filled play items also suggest that no cleaning was done at this playground too. Were the cleaners too afraid to do anything to the playground? Or is it simply a case of playground forgotten? The children around this estate have grown up and stopped playing. We did not feel anything at this playground. We did not feel anything, and it is debunked for this investigation. Here's this investigation video.
做工了，回去还好，我在做工。还叫每次我跟同学我他讲，我在做工了，我在做工。
This is how the playground looks like. Totally dark, cannot even see anything.
During the midnight, it won't be so much crowd. Totally, 车的时候是一两15处，到来现在正常。
So even the main road outside there has no. So what happened then? Do you see anything or you other than the smell?
Dog keep on barking non-stop. Even you go from other areas, another side, you still hear the dog bark.
Okay. Were they barking at you? Then after that, how do you?
Walk as fast as possible.
Let's see what this. Actually, it's quite old. Very not well maintained. What do you ask? 你这里 opposition. Oh, it's shaking by itself. Old looking. Right now it's not moving. The other one looks like it's moving.
半夜的时候，谁赶快一个人在一起玩的？
那是半夜谁会玩？
没有，这边很大。
多车？
现在会，然后晚上就会。
So what if you see? What if you see this moving at night and there's no one? What will you do?
Run to the contacts.
And pray or something like that.
有人他们contacts
还是有。
While the first abandoned building looks pretty normal, uneventfully, the second abandoned building looks pretty interesting. After researching yielded some intriguing details. This second building looks pretty majestic and definitely abandoned from the outside. The place looks a little rundown, though the building looks new. This picture second place that we were was interesting because we initially had no idea what this place is or what it is used to be. Initially, we thought it was some NEA office as the front gate had the letters NEA clearly seen. But it was not until we saw the faded outwards of the place that we realized what it really is. The words Nesea Club can be seen on the wall beside the main gate. What is the Nesea Club all about and what does it do? Investigation revealed that it's a pretty cheap club with cheap membership, unlike the more established clubs. This one does not have any golf course. And it looks like an ordinary club, something like what a Safra club is. Further research online actually yielded an interesting news article and a crime-related one as well. Here is an article we found. Woman jailed 26 months for burglary and theft. A reluctant offender who bought then 10-year-old daughter along with committed burglary was sentenced on Tuesday to 26 months jail. The younger is coming. Could this club had gone busted after the money had been stolen? Could it not have recovered up this big feast of negative news and scrambled to fold? The fact that the incident happened in sometime October 2010 seems to suggest that this club had only recently closed for good. The behind of the club looks pretty rundown and old. A few lonely trees stand at the side of the space, possibly used to a little park of some sort. All is very quiet as we try to look around and spot any strange activity or sounds. The fence and the barbed wire were clearly signs that this place still belongs to someone, and with that, we decided not to investigate the inside. We respect our boundaries. However, we carried on to explore the area from the outside, and looking at an unlocked mailbox just beside the wall, we chanced upon a letter. In the letterbox. It had the words Nisea Investment Private Limited. Seems like this company may be some sort of an investment business. Checks online found that the Nisea Investment is currently located at number 1 North Bridge Road, but nothing else really found about Nisea, leading us to slightly dubious conclusion on what the company really is. 2 ball of lights were located outside the wall surrounding the club. One is algae-filled and old, and the other is broken and badly damaged. It is amazing how run-down things get after like a half year of non-maintenance. This place can easily pass off as being abandoned for a couple of years. There is a canal beside the Nisea Club, although the canal looks kind of stuck and also thickened with some sort of sewage of dirt. The stuck water flow could also be a symbolic representation of Nisea Club's status of being abandoned, stuck and left to rot, made especially so by the Chinese superstition that water represents money and energy, and if it's stuck, it represents bankruptcy or failure. A few orbs were detected as we snapped our pictures. However, rather than detecting any paranormal activity, we felt that it could simply be the little droplets of water that is coming from around, as it is still drizzling slightly. And finally, we explored the place for about a half an hour. We concluded that this abandoned building, other than its intriguing tales of crime and misappropriation of money, is nothing really paranormal. Hence, this place is debunked. Next, we traveled a little down to this area called Ulu Sembawang. The word Ulu, which means deserted and remote, always draws some paranormal link to whichever the place is, simply because of its remoteness. Hence, we decided to explore there a little. Ulu Sembawang has a little stretch of road that we wandered least to where there is a little barricade that stops vehicle from entering, and is from the outside. It looks really dark and heavy inside. Immediately after we started taking pictures, a big bright orb, peak below, seemed to be coming towards us and welcoming us to the house. The walk-in without torch would be absolutely dark. It is a stone path that leads to somewhere that we do not know what it is. It is intriguing walking into the unknown, and you not knowing when we come towards you. We see more trees and orbs as well, some stains on the grounds which we are walking. Not sure what those stains might be, but they look permanent. Suddenly, a few meters ahead of us, something blocked our path. It's a tractor, seems kind of stuck in the mud, and obviously someone is very determined not to let people or vehicles pass through. It is a big barrier in the beginning, and it's not enough. The people who are doing whatever they are doing here want to really block out their work away from everyone. We wonder what work might be. Undeterred by the tractor blocking our way or the intentions of the people who might want to tell us not to go in, we walk in. There isn't any signs of fences, so it was free to explore. We continue walking, and the more we walk in, the more we feel slightly heavier. The deeper part of the place seems to be like a little clearing of some sort. We kind of wonder if there could be a possibility of this place being some sort of execution grounds during World War II, as it does look pretty old disused, and finally situated on a slight hope. The place grew in darkness and heaviness. As we continued walking in deeper and deeper, we found some interesting metal pieces lying around, signs of sort of construction, but still no less telling us what this place or what its history was. As we walk into the deepest part of the place again, it looks like some of the clearing and stains were again On the grounds, all was quiet and we decided that this place was a good place to start some of our questionings. We asked simple questions like, is there anyone here with us today? And tell us your name. Immediately it seemed like someone curious spirit started to come down from the trees and responded to our questions. Two distinct orbs were captured, and while many people contest orbs being dust and reflection of flash, we do not want to take it as confirmed paranormal. We continues asking questions. More orbs seems to be appear and come toward us as we did our EMFs with the surrounding places. The EMF detector was pretty constant at reading 1 until suddenly we had immediately in our tracks and we froze for a moment to take this spike. Immediately we started recording.
Để khai sang men. Okay, right now the EMF reading is all the way up the tree. It's just after we ask, is there anyone here today with us? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this down. Okay, if there's anyone here today, I want you to go up to this green light. Make it go up even more. What's your name? And who are you? Do you want us here? Hey, 没有来。Backwards. There's something here. Do you think it could be because of that thing? No, metal doesn't really mean anything. Let's shine. What's that?
这个现在有背景有。
把看壁嘞，你看啊，这样多嘞。There's something here. Eh? No, here. Walk it up. No, here. Stop. Yeah. It's so weird. Can you shine what's here? It's just here only. Are you here with us? Do you feel anything? Three lights. Unless there's something underground here. Okay, this is 0.0, right? Okay, slowly leave it out again. it is 2. Okay, now turn to your, now it's 1. Yeah.
Go back a bit more.
2.
Comes to 1.
Okay, down again. 2. And further down again. 3. And that means there's 3 levels of radiation here.
It's radiation.
Yeah, it's radiation. EMF, I mean not radiation but it's
Magnetic field.
some magnetic energy. We cannot explain it. And it's only right here.
Is it more? Okay.
Somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here. You see, out of this boundary, actually there is still some.
So there is something underground here.
When I put it on the ground, it's at least 2, you know.
Yeah.
See, it's 2, at least.
Flickering. Okay, I think that confirms there's something underground here. Though we don't know what it is.
See? The soil is about 1.1 meter plus. It's 1.
So definitely something is underground.
I stand up too quickly. Malfunction. See that? Lower a bit. 2. Higher a bit. 1.
2.
This like
When you put it all the way down again, let's see.
3.
3.
This at least like 50 cm.
Yeah.
Every 30 cm difference will have 1 level.
Be curious to know what's underneath there.
But
There's something under the ground.
can you like half construction?
See? It's yellow, right?
Okay, no. It's still
That means because it's still near. Further away. Now you're coming closer again. Yes.
definitely here.
So is this?
It's been cut. You can see the line.
Yeah. Something is underneath this.
Very funny, you know. Only at this like here, this height, about 50 cm. Or maybe 40. Definitely 40.
So whatever that's inside here,
Wiring is constant.
this piece, concrete.
There's some wiring down here.
And it actually leads all the way inside.
All the way. It's constant.
Yep.
Taking a video or a picture.
Video. Some video, some picture. Okay, Agent Max, what's the conclusion for Ulu Sembawang?
Nothing. Bunk.
Debunk?
Yeah.
How about Mr. What's your name? How should we address you? Agent YY? What's your conclusion?
Construction stuff here.
Okay, so no ghosts.
The conclusion to Ulu Sembawang was is that there could be a possibility of some sort of underground cable being laid, and this caused the EMF detector to have a reading. The consistent reading is strong evidence of something that there's rather than some paranormal phenomenon because of ghost sightings. The spikes are erratic and not consistent. These stone gravel roads are again man-made, and this leads to an even greater possibility that before the ground was laid, some sort of power cable had been placed inside it. There are also signs of damp and rubbish here, leading us to believe that there is definitely more human activity here than paranormal activity. More clues telling us that there is actually quite a lot of construction going on this area, and it looks pretty heavy duty as well. No doubt this place is debunked to be not haunted. And next we head to a little park that overlooks the beautiful Straits of Malaysia. This is also a site in which there were several reports of hauntings. One of our exploration, we saw this cute little black cat that was in the area, and we suddenly noticed that the cat is looking and staring into something just beside us. It was a very strange look on the cat, and one of us said, "Let's go." This place is indeedly very peaceful and quiet, but as we walked into the park, we saw quite a few groups of foreign workers gathering, some fishing, some camping, and some just chit-chatting. Today, the feeling and mood felt relaxed and light. Perhaps the many people around added that the young energy. The other time we had no experience, there was absolutely no one at all but us. Walking around the park, we concluded that, at least for today, there isn't any paranormal activity that we can capture on tape or on video. Somehow, these things always do not show up when we are well equipped. Finally, we ended our exploration of Sembawang by visiting a little park near Republic Polytechnic. This particular place is not Sembawang, but as we thought we could go explore, had mentioned us this place having a certain paranormal potential at night. This park is pretty dark at night too. Well, most parks will be dark at night. The air was moist and humid as we walked into the park. Rabel Road greeted us again, and we trickled inside the park. A long dark bridge greeted us. This bridge connects one side of the park to the other side. We walked through it and tried to observe what is on the other sides of the bridge. A slow-moving stream floats through. We captured photos of the stream and opened our eyes to any suspicious activities or shadows along the banks of the stream. Nothing much is felt, but it certainly looked dark. In the background, cricket sound echoed in chorus. We proceed on to the walk through the rest of the park. This park is full of interesting plants, fauna, and flora. It is certainly a place to explore nature or to take a stroll in the daytime, but certainly not at night. It is pitch dark without the lights we have from our torches. Some of the plants have whitish leaves, and in dark they may look like many white ghosts standing along the side of the footpath cheering us on. Well, thankfully, we were not over frightened by them. Trees of different lengths and bushes of different shapes and sizes adorn the sides of the pathway, and in the picture above, a bright orb seems to be moving toward us. We tried to asking some questions, but did not receive any response or felt anything suspicious. We proceeded on. An old wooden sign greeted us at the side of the pathway. It is strangely empty and nothing is seen on it. A signboard being yanked out maybe. Walk along the path. We were then greeted by a split in the roads, left or right. Right we say because it is the right way to go. We walked along the side of the path, and suddenly to our right we saw this huge white mass. We stopped and froze. It is an elephant ghost? A dinosaur ghost? In this picture you can make out a huge mass that we saw from afar. Without torch, it sounds like really spooky and suspicious manner. Was it what it is? More shots and angle of the supposedly white unexplained mass. Of course, upon rationalization, we feel it was probably some sort of plant, but we wonder what kind of plant has such a big mass of neither branches or leaves. Unable to ascertain the tree type, but debunking any paranormal activity, we move on. More trees, whitish leaves, but nothing paranormal here. It is all quiet and peaceful as we explore the entire park. This park eventually leads to Woodlands Waterfront, the new park built under the Park Connector scheme. The walk and trek took about 45 minutes, and through the humid and moist walk, we perspired a lot and it is kind of tiring. Well, that's good thing of our explorations. It is nothing thrilling at times, it is also pretty healthy considering the amount of exercise we do. As rounding up our exploration, we reflect on the experiences that we have today through the different places and spots that we had investigated. There were several interesting stories and research, but none of the places that we have explored today made us feel that there is any weird or unexplained paranormal phenomenon at all. Hence, we are quite determined to say that the exploration of Sembawang drew up a blank for this exploration. But of course, like all paranormal expeditions, it has been a fun, healthy, and nice little outing we had. And of course, the company of each other, the food, and the catching up made expedition it a worthwhile trip.